And then a lot of people are hoping to see the improvements when it comes to the medal tally. But again, it is not our target to win, but there's always possibilities. Anyway, talking about today's topic, we are talking about ETA, but I'm not really gonna talk much about that. But before again we go straight to ETA, I think maybe Mr. Quinlan want to share something or introduce yourself first, Mr. Quinlan.
Sure, happy to. So thanks for having me here. I'm really excited. My name is Michael Quinlan. I'm the Cultural Affairs Officer at the U.S. Embassy in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I came to Malaysia about a year ago, and I started working in the public affairs section. My job is, I don't know, I think it's the best in the embassy. I love what I do. I cover a lot of the education, English teaching, arts, music, exchange programs, youth programs, and speaker programs for the embassy. So I bring a lot of people from the United States over to Malaysia, and I send a lot of Malaysians over to the United States.
That is a very, very interesting to do.
Yeah.
And how do you find the country for the past 1 year?
Amazing. It's amazing. The food is amazing.
All right.
The people are amazing. And the issues here are really interesting. So I really like working here. It's been great. I don't get to use my Bahasa very often, which is too bad.
Maybe because people don't really expect you to speak Bahasa.
I think so. Yeah, they look at me and they're like, "Oh, this guy is."
So we want to improve our English, but you know, when people see you, I say, okay, this is the time that I need to improve my English.
Yeah, but also I think people in Kuala Lumpur, everyone I talk to mostly every day, English is very good. I mean, I think I think their English is way better than yeah. So, but I love traveling throughout the country. I've traveled to a lot of different states.
All right.
Yeah.
So and any particular states that you prefer or you really like?
Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, I like them all. I was just recently in Sabah and Sarawak. We were there with a rock group that we brought in from
All
California.
right, okay.
Yeah. And we had some concerts there. It was really fun. So I love East Malaysia. I love Borneo. Love those places. I also love going to Kelantan.
All right.
Yeah. Have some ayam porcik.
So have you had any chance to go to hit the beach?
I have. I've been to Langkawi.
All right.
Which I like. But I haven't been to the islands, like the Perhentian Islands or Tioman Islands.
You really should, Mr. Quinlan. You
like
really
to.
should.
Yeah.
All right, so ETA.
Yes.
A lot of our listeners doesn't really know yet. I mean, what ETA is all about.
Sure. Happy to talk about it. So ETAs are English teaching assistants. And the best way I can describe this is these are young Americans who want to do something good for the world.
All right.
And so we select about 100 of them every year to come from the United States and spend 10 months here in Malaysia. And so they are teaching assistants. They're not the teachers, but they assist the English teachers in different schools all throughout the country. And so 100 different schools.
Okay.
They're there and they're teaching such things like grammar.
Okay.
They're teaching vocabulary, how to write. They're teaching reading skills. But it's more than that. So they're there to make English something that the students use and really live and breathe and use all the time, every day. Because a lot of these schools are in very rural areas.
Okay.
And I don't think the students have a chance to speak to a native English speaker.
Yeah.
This is their chance to do so, and they do it.
Or even the teachers doesn't have any chance.
That's true.
Even
That's
the teachers doesn't have any chance to speak to a native speaker. So
And this is a good chance for them to do. So this is maybe a 25, 24-year-old American who just graduated from college, goes there, spends 10 months, the whole year, school year, teaching, but also volunteering, becoming the coach for a sports club, or becoming a drama coach, or teaching photography or videography, or having an English camp. And so these people live, work, and go out in the community. And English is their gift to the students, to the community.
Yes. I'm just wondering, where do they stay when they are there for 10 months?
Generally, they stay in a home, so
All right.
it's a home that they rent, and we try to put them together with some other ETAs in a small community. But each one goes to their own schools every day,
Okay.
and they're living in the community.
So they are also, I mean, exchanging the culture values. I mean,
Absolutely,
in the community,
that's right.
and I think it would be. I mean, the community that have them are very very lucky.
I think so. I think so. But they're also lucky too. They really do get that exchange of cultures. And it's great because the ETA program is under the Fulbright program.
All right.
And the Fulbright program in the United States has long history to it, and it's
Yes.
all about cultural exchange, and this is part of that, a really big part of it too.
So I believe this is not the first time. I mean, we have ETAs. How long have it been going on in Malaysia?
Oh, for a while. I believe this is the 12th year of the program. It started around 2006, and so it was a state level program. It started in Terengganu,
All right.
and it was only about 10 ETAs in the state at that time. And for the next several years, it was only about 10, 13, 17 or so ETAs. But then it started to grow. It started to grow around 2012, and it grew up to 50, and then 75, and now it's at the level it's at, which is 100. And so these are 100 ETAs now, and it's at a national level. So it started with Terengganu, then it grew to Perak and Johor and some other states, and now it's in 8 different states throughout the country.
All right. Okay. So it's already in the 8 different states.
That's
Does that include Sabah and Sarawak?
It does. It includes Sabah, Sarawak, Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, Perlis, and Perak.
All right, so I think those are the right state. I mean, for the ETAs to go in, because what? Because we know that for a fact that this state, most of the places is quite close,
Yeah.
and they don't really engage.
Yeah, there's no access, really.
Yeah,
to-
there's no access, and to have a native speakers
Mhm.
teaching them English,
Right.
that is just something beautiful, something awesome.
We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and another one thing, I mean, it's like talking about ETAs. I believe that a lot of, even, I mean, teachers who are listening will be young teachers. I mean, listening to Hot Talk right now is thinking that, I mean, how are the schools being chose?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
is this school can apply to have ETAs with them, or?
Well, we work closely with the Ministry of Education in
All
Malaysia.
right.
And we have for the longest time. And they choose the schools. They select the different schools. And they have a process where they choose schools that really do need exposure to English. And so they base it on the band level that the schools are in.
Alright.
So we also like to tell them we'd like to go to rural schools.
Yeah.
And we want to reach schools that haven't had this exposure before. So every 3 years they change the schools, and so we're ending the 3 years this year for the current schools.
Oh, okay.
So starting in 2018, we're going to have all new 100 new schools that the ETAs will be at. And if you are interested, I think you have to talk to the Ministry of Education.
Yeah, so to the listeners who's interested, I mean, if your school is in a rural area, maybe you can talk to Datuk Sri Mahathir Khalid,
There you
our ministers, to apply for that. Because I believe that a lot of people feel that to have this assistance, although you just said, I mean, they are not really teachers, but I think what they're doing is more than, as you said, is more than just assisting. Because what? Because it's about sharing culture, sharing information, and also for the engagement itself.
Right.
I mean, for the students. So we are talking about primary school students, right?
No, actually, these are secondary school students.
Aha.
Yeah, so it's we do secondary school because we feel that that's an age that really can affect where they go taking off. Maybe they're preparing for the test. Maybe they're preparing for college. Maybe they're preparing for going to the workforce. And that's a critical age to build confidence in English. It's a critical age to build those soft skills that you're going to need for a job interview, and also those critical thinking skills that you'll need to go on in a further education.
Yep.
Yeah, so we like to get them right at that time.
And maybe with the exposures from the teaching assistants, they have more choices. I mean, they would be thinking on a lot of other things than just, I mean, their previous ideas of how things should be
Sure.
after school. Anyway, Mrs. Quinlan, I think we're going to take a short break and we'll go to the first song and this is Chainsmoker and Coldplay. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Mysuara FM Hot Talk. Today with me, Mr. Michael Quinlan.
Hello.
Hello again. So we are talking about ETA, English Teaching Assistants, where we have people from the US coming here voluntarily to teach and to assist in teaching. Currently, there's around 100 of them in 100 over schools in 8 states in Malaysia. So this is very, very interesting. And this is not the first time. We have been around for 12 years. And however, I believe, a lot of Malaysian, a lot of our listeners doesn't know about it yet. And the teachers who's here, they are young.
They are.
Is there any age category?
We generally like to get them out of university. So they're university graduates. So they come out maybe 24, 25. But some of them also have working experience too.
Okay. All right. So at 20, at the age of 20s, I believe most of them, this is also their first time in Southeast Asia.
Some of them do come with some international travel.
All right.
But yes, that's true. Some of them are coming to Malaysia for the first time, and they're experiencing the culture for the first time. They're experiencing durian for the first time.
Yeah, that is something.
That's
very interesting. Yeah, because you don't get durians in the States.
No, not usually. But then I've met with the ETAs over the past year that I've been here in Malaysia, and the one thing I can say about them is they're eager to get involved. They're eager to really know their students, know the community, know the country. And they approach their job, they approach their whole 10 months here with a lot of excitement and ideas and energy. And so I remember when I was 24, I don't know if I was that energetic, but they sure are. Yeah.
Yeah, so for the ETAs, it's not just the time that they spend in school, but they are here for 10 months. So their engagement with the community would be a lot, I assume.
Yes.
Because they'll be spending the weekend, they'll be spending the after working hours with the community.
That's right. And they do that. They also travel. So we do a lot of what are called English camps. And
all right.
We do those on the weekends. And so it's after school on the weekends. One ETA will organize a camp and then invite the schools from around the states to come to their camp and participate. So we've done things like Harry Potter camps. We've done different themes. We've done job fair type camps, TED Talk type camps.
All right.
And we've done hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them each year. And it's a way to bring English in a fun way,
yes,
an active way to schools. And we've also done programs where the teachers take their students on trips. I believe they've taken them to KL to watch plays. They've taken them to different parts of their state to go on environmental and conservation field trips. Taking them on businesses to go and look at businesses, and it's a great way to broaden the horizons,
yes,
of the students.
Yeah, especially as I mentioned before, Mr. Kunlin. These people are from the rural area, and then they don't really get much engagement, and they don't get the exposure that they should be getting.
Yeah.
Anyway, ETAs. Is Malaysia is the only country that have ETAs, or how many other countries are there?
Well, there are ETAs in a lot of other countries, but Malaysia has a pretty big program. It's about the third biggest program in the world.
Okay, so the biggest one is in?
I believe that it is in either Germany or South Korea. I'm not entirely sure though.
All right.
But there are, and then I believe Jordan has a very big program too.
Okay.
But the great thing is that Malaysia, even though it's got already fairly good English skills in a lot of places, like in Kuala Lumpur, in the rural areas, the English skills for the youth is not as high as everyone wants it to be.
Yes.
So there's a lot of places here in Malaysia that could benefit from this.
Yeah, because I believe the gap The gap is pretty huge in Malaysia.
Yeah.
The urban area, suburban area, and the rural area, and majority of Malaysians live in the suburban and rural area. Because although a lot of people say that, oh, there's a lot of people in the city, yeah, obviously,
Right.
but because of the density, so
Yes.
you see there's a lot of people. But a lot of people forget that majority of Malaysians are actually living in the suburban and rural area.
Right.
And then that's why, I mean, when it comes to even policies, sometimes, I mean, some people forgot about this, that majority of the people are in the suburban and also rural areas, and these are the people who actually need extra attention. And then to have a native speaker of English living in their community is not just about English, but it's also about the cultural exchange.
Sure.
And especially for, I mean, some of the states that you mentioned, I mean, Terengganu or either Kelantan.
Yes.
So this is very, very interesting for the community itself
yeah.
to host.
Right.
To host the.
And the communities have been great. I think there's a lot of support. The programs that the ETAs run cost money.
Yeah.
And the Ministry of Education provides some money, the U.S. State Department provides some money, but sometimes it's not enough to do everything that the teachers want to do. So the ETAs sometimes have to go out and raise funds.
Yeah, raise funds.
But they do it, and they do it online, and they do it by approaching different communities and businesses, and they've been able to generate a lot of funds so that the students can have programs, to do camps and to go on trips and such. And so it's amazing. The teachers bring a lot of this energy and spirit, and they get a lot of support from the local communities too.
All right, that's very, very interesting. I think before we discuss furthermore, we'll go to another break, guys. And here is the phrase, how to save a life. Quinlan from the US Embassy KL talking about ETAs. Anyway, maybe we just want to go a bit, not just ETA. I mean, because we're talking about perceptions and Malaysian. I mean, sometimes, I mean, although we have great relations right now after our Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib visits to the US, but still, I mean, a lot of people have not a very good perceptions towards the US. However, I believe with the sort of engagement such as ETAs, it changes a lot of things, so that a lot more people understand what, I mean, what the US are doing. Even the embassies over here is just more than that. What do you say about that, Mr. Mr. Kunle?
Well, I agree with you. I think what we try to do every day, what we do with the programs like ETA, is we do try to connect to people one-on-one and not just change their mindset, but really kind of open their eyes, open their hearts, open their experiences to the United States, and more than just what they see on the news or what they see on TV or in movies or any other way. I think we try to do that by really being real, true persons, and that's important. We send our 100 ETAs out to different schools, but we do more than that. We send Malaysians to the United States.
Yeah, and I'm happy to share that I was one of those lucky people because
That's
I got
right.
to join the study of United States Institute's new media back in 2010.
That's right.
And I believe that a lot of people doesn't know about all these type of programs. And right now we have YCD going on.
That's right.
Do you want to share something more on YCD?
Sure. YSEALI is a great program, Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative. And this is a program that I really love. It sends not just Malaysians, but all the other countries within ASEAN in Southeast Asia, send young people to the United States on two different types of programs, academic and professional programs. And these are short opportunities to learn either at a university or embedded with a different type of organization, to learn a professional, to broaden their professional networks and learn about interesting parts of how to be a leader.
Yeah.
And it's focused on several different areas. And what I think the best part of it is it builds networks. Sends people to the United States, you learn something, but you come back. You come back to Malaysia and you connect with all of your other colleagues throughout Southeast Asia. And
Share your experience,
Exactly.
share your knowledge. Even
Yeah.
me myself, I mean, I still remember back in 2010, it was really an awesome experience. I was in Southern Illinois.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I was in Southern Illinois and get a chance to visit Chicago and also DC
Yeah.
and St. Louis in Missouri. It was a very interesting experience for myself. It was a
Yeah.
good 7 weeks, 8 weeks, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. Yeah.
And that's an experience that you take, and when you come back, you share that with other people, and people who don't have a chance to maybe go there too will hear from you about your perceptions, your experiences.
If maybe not because of Susie 2010, I wouldn't be here. I mean, volunteering to be a
There you
DJ host. I mean, to be a radio DJ every
Yeah.
single week, once a week. But those are the kind of exposures that you get. And then I believe that a lot of people doesn't know that there's so many opportunities, and they can actually check it out through the U.S. Embassy KL websites.
That's right.
From time to time.
That's right, my.usembassy.gov, and just go online. We've got a page about Waisili. We've got other information about exchange programs. We've got information about if you're interested in studying in the United States, it's Education USA, which will give you more information about the process and maybe how to find financial assistance for studying. A lot of good information about what we do.
Yes, I think that's then. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the place you should go to is the official website. I mean, don't just listen to people and assume, and then you go and do things wrongly, or maybe you get duped to doing something.
That's right.
when you apply into some hoax
Yeah.
websites or what. I mean, sometimes in Malaysia it happens, and then
Yeah.
suddenly, so that's why it's all these people, and then they become fugitives in a different country because
No, we
because,
don't want that. We
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
that.
we don't want that. I mean, it's like you go into another country for a wrong reason,
Yeah.
and then that's why we have a lot of cases Malaysian going to Australia to pick up fruits.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
To be illegal immigrants.
No, we love all the legitimate travel that takes place between the U.S. and Malaysia.
Yeah, and then right now there's a lot of things going on between the U.S. and America. U.S. and Malaysia, and I think it's a great time for the.
I think the relationship is strong. I think it's strong. It's getting stronger. There's a lot of cooperation. I work on the cultural side, so I do a lot of education, exchange, art, music, all sorts of things. But there are colleagues of mine in the embassy who work on the economic relationship, the trade relationship, on the military to military relationship, in terms of health cooperation and security cooperation. It's a full range, and we're proud of all of the hard work that we do every day to build that closer tie between the U.S. and Malaysia.
Yeah, I think it's a great time. A lot of things are going on, but too bad that sometimes we have not so good perceptions.
Yeah.
And this is being built. I strongly believe that, in my opinion, the bad perception are being built by people who doesn't have a real engagement, or they never actually engage with the embassy itself. Or they never engage. I mean, or maybe if they meet an American, it was the wrong American that they meet. I mean, it was not the right person who they meet. So that's why, I mean, sometimes all these perceptions is being built, and then a lot of people write. I mean, not only about America, but a lot of people tends to write bad things about other people on the new media.
Right.
Anyway, talking about social media, how do you see Malaysia itself, or especially the youth, when it comes in regards to social media?
I think we get a lot of excitement and engagement with the youth on social media. We do try to reach out through our embassy's Facebook page, through our Instagram account, Twitter account, and we really enjoy doing that, because I think that's where the youth are now.
Yeah.
And we do have to reach out to where people are. I'm older.
And more experienced.
I'm more experienced. There you go. With age comes oldness. But, But I know it's a different language, and someone who's 18, 19 years old, are they going to be reading Bernama every day?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah,
but
maybe
but they're probably more likely checking their Instagram account, checking Twitter,
following their favorite
following their
artists.
favorite artist, exactly. But there's a conversation that takes place on those sites, on their apps, and if we're feeding into that, great. If they see something interesting that they like and they comment on it, great. What we do is we provide a way for people to connect with us there, and I think a good example is we'd like to do a lot with video.
Uh-huh.
And a while ago, we did a video, a Raya video.
All right, all right.
We,
Video.
we danced.
Okay, so we would love to. Can
Oh,
we check that out on Facebook?
Unfortunately, it's been taken down because it was only up for a brief time. But there is another one.
All right.
Merdeka Day. So we did
Okay.
a great little video that the ambassador gave an address about Merdeka Day, and that's what we like to do, kind of showcase. And you can check it all out on our Facebook page.
All right,
too.
so it's
Yeah.
US Embassy KL, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the Facebook page, the Instagram account is US Embassy KL. So, guys, you can check that out. Anyway, when it comes to, I believe when it comes to America, most of the thing being consumed by Malaysian when it comes to entertainment.
That's true. I think pop culture is a big way of America putting out its
And everyone loves
information, yeah.
McDonald's.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So I mean, it's like because McDonald's, the way I look at it, especially in Klang Valley area,
Yeah.
is the second. It's not a second best thing, but it's the alternative. It's either at night if you want to go to a mama or you go to McDonald's.
There you go.
So I think especially among the youth, the only thing they'll be asking is like, oh, so tonight are we having mama or
Or is McD?
or McD?
Yeah.
And they even go and hang out in McD to watch football match.
Oh, right. Oh, well, yeah, that's very global.
Yeah.
Well, McDonald's is a big American brand, just like KFC and Coca-Cola and all those great brands. It leads to the perception. What is America? What is the United States? But there are some people I know in the United States who never go there and are pure vegetarians and very health conscious and never do that. But there's a lot of it, and there are people who are in the United States and they have to eat halal.
Yeah.
and they do that, and they find places that are like that, or they're very, very strict Buddhists and will not eat any meat products or animal products, and so. But the great thing is America's diverse. It has a lot of these.
There's a
types
lot of
places.
people in America.
Tons,
Because what?
yeah.
Because some people forget that actually there's hundreds and millions of people in America.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of diversity, but it's also big. And,
Yes, it's huge.
yeah.
I mean, I think even Illinois itself is as huge as Peninsular Malaysia.
Yeah, it's California. I know is quite huge. Yeah, I come from a very small island in Hawaii in the U.S.
All right.
And I grew up in like a very tiny place, tiny neighborhood, very kampung like. But I know people who've grown up in places where they never leave their zip code, and it's still an enormous, vast place.
So I mean, it's like that makes you, I mean, very used to the tropical climate.
Yes. I love the weather here. It's great. I love to be in the sun. Love to sweat.
Yeah, and especially coming from Hawaii.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Okay, Mr. Kun, I think we're gonna take another break, and guys, after this, we'll be listening to Despacito. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with Mysuara FM Hot Talk. Today with me, Mr. Michael Quinlan, Cultural Affairs Officers from the U.S. Embassy KL. So we have been talking about ETAs, a few other programs, YCLs, and also the efforts which have been done by the U.S. Embassy in KL, especially when it comes to all these perceptions. I mean, the use of social media, and it seems that the embassy is very, very active
We try to be. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of updates. I say, I mean, because I do follow a few other embassies,
Oh, okay.
Facebook,
Yeah.
and the one that actually have a lot of things going on. The U.S. embassy is I think one of the most active one on social media.
Thank you. Yes, we try. We try to be. There's a lot going on, and it's great that you follow us. We're more than happy for everyone to follow us. U.S. Embassy KL.
There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. I mean, to engage.
That's true. And one of the ways we do that is, with Waisili, Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative. Like we were saying before, it's a program which sends Malaysians to the United States, but that's not the only thing it does. We also offer opportunities for people to join a network here in Malaysia. You may not go to the United States, but if you're involved, if you're a volunteer in an NGO, or if you have an interest in becoming more in touch with your colleagues here in Malaysia and in Southeast Asia, join us on our website, apply, and you'd be able to take advantage of the opportunities here for regional workshops and really to broaden your network. So I invite people, if you're interested in that youth demographic and if you're engaged, check it out, my.usembassy.gov/Waisili.
Yep. So, and guys, make sure you guys go to the official website
Yes.
again and again because it seems to me that a lot of people, a lot of youth in Malaysia, they love to check out news on unreliable sources,
Fake news.
yeah, fake news, or news that just made up by anyone, or we don't even know who.
Sure.
But again, even on the US Embassy website, there's a lot of news there.
Sure.
There's a lot of news, and then you can find, for example, like the newest one would be this the speech the speech when Trump met Datuk Sri Najib.
That's right.
The introduction
Yes.
just before the start. You can go to the official website
Right.
and see that. Although I understand that a lot of people, instead of going to the official website of the States Department or what, they go to all these blogs that comment on it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like before you go to a blog, or even before you go to a website that comment on the issues, why not you read the real thing?
Primary sources. That's right.
Yeah, primary sources, and then you can do that, especially by going through the websites, the official channel of the embassy.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mr. Quintlin, anything's coming up?
Yes, we have actually a very busy amount of programs
All
that
right.
are happening soon. As I was saying before, we brought a rock group from California out, and we did a couple of concerts.
Yeah, if I'm not
It was-
mistaken, one of them was in Taylor's College, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
group called Acidic. I'm a real rocker.
All right. Okay.
No, but their kind of indie college rock was great. They had a couple of good concerts. We're bringing another music group
All right.
later this year. A man named Tony Memel.
Okay.
He plays guitar, and then he brings another person who plays guitar, and then a piano player, and they do more country music. And so we're thinking about doing some programmings with them. And we are always bringing speakers. Right now in Malaysia, there is a woman named Deborah Majid. She works at IBM,
Okay.
and she talks about entrepreneurship and
Uh-huh.
building sort of an ecosystem for entrepreneurship, and talks about women starting their own businesses, young people getting involved in technology. And she's traveling all over Malaysia right now just to talk to people, engage with them about this. And we're bringing someone from my home state of Hawaii
All right.
to talk about environmental issues. So these are all great programs that we're going to be bringing through the end of this year, in the coming months, and we're excited to bring these people to Malaysia and engage.
So I think Malaysia is very, very lucky to have all of this going on, and at the same time, I think I personally would be very, very interested to see you yourself, Mr. Quintlin. Maybe to play one or two rock songs, maybe,
Oh.
and we would love to join that. Maybe you can
Okay.
tour the country.
Well, I much prefer the professionals to do that.
Yeah. So I think you'll be the first cultural affairs officers to do it.
Maybe I'm not sure about that. I don't know.
That would be very, very interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
interesting.
It's very hard to top that. I mean,
Yeah, it
I'll
probably will
pity
be.
the next cultural affairs officer.
That's right.
If you start doing that. Anyway, so before we wrap things up,
Mhm.
Malaysia, we are very lucky to have, I mean, uh, a great relationship with the United States, especially right now, and we have all these programs going on,
Yeah.
being offered to Malaysian, and this is something that not a lot of people outside that know about it. Although, as you said, for example, like ETA have been going around for 12 years,
Yes.
and then we have Fulbright scholars
Yeah.
which have been around for
Over
decades.
50, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for decades. I mean, it's like we gained independence like 1957, and straight after
Yeah.
independence, we have Fulbright scholars.
That's right.
So these are the things where the public doesn't know about it,
Yeah.
and maybe most of them. I mean, when it comes to perception, again,
Right.
what they perceive is what's in the pop culture.
Sure.
What they see on them they don't really watch CNN or
Right,
what. I
right.
mean, they watch HBO. So
Sure. Yeah.
so everyone thought that whatever going on over there. I mean,
Well, I love HBO too, but
Yeah.
but I think one of the best things I could suggest is that when it comes to learning about your own country, history is something that you read about and study and research on your own. It doesn't come to you like from watching movies. It doesn't come to you
Yeah.
from like watching HBO.
yeah.
But there's a lot of history all around us, and one of the most interesting things I did this past year was when we celebrated the 60 years of U.S. and Malaysia relations, because the U.S. recognized Malaysia right after independence.
Yeah.
So we have 60 years of relations between us as formal countries. So we did an exhibition at the National Museum this year and talked about all of the different things we've done over the past, Peace Corps programs.
Yeah.
We've done all sorts of education exchanges. We've done visits from presidents and prime ministers back and forth. And going through the history of it made me really realize that there's so much that has been going on, more than I realized, even as someone who does this for his job, that it's something really amazing that we have today, but it's been built on so much of the work of our parents and our grandparents. And so,
It's
talk
taught
to them.
since independence, or
Yeah.
I believe even before that.
Even
it would be-
before then, in
Yeah.
fact, yeah, that's right.
It's not just, we didn't just started this because Trump became president and we
No.
just started it. No, I mean it's even before Barack Obama.
That's true.
Yeah, although Obama came twice.
That's
but
right.
It was even before
Well,
that.
before
because,
then,
because for a lot of people that thought, oh, this is all new. I mean, it's only after the 9/11 that we have all these sort of things, or
No,
or,
yeah.
then- or maybe just because we have Obama and after that we had Trump. It's maybe right now we have social media. Before this, we don't have social media, so these people doesn't know about it.
We had traditional media, yeah.
We have traditional media, and
Yeah.
some of these people doesn't watch traditional media.
No, no.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of history. I'd say go and look for it, and you'll be surprised. You'll be amazed at just how much life has been going on before Twitter.
People tweet on Snapchat or Instagram
Exactly.
or Facebook,
Yeah.
or even before Friendster.
Oh, my friend, MySpace.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah. But a lot of people, I think the younger generation, they'll be like, they don't even know what's MySpace or Friendster is.
That's fine.
Yeah, but
should be
social
forgotten.
media, MySpace, Friendster, that was it before this, and then great relation. I mean, you see between Malaysia and the US.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, any last word, Mr. Quinlan?
Just thank you for having me here. I just want to invite everyone, if you're interested in getting in touch, finding out more information, head to our website, my.usembassy.gov, and keep in touch. Send us your comments, and we're happy to reach out.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Quinlan. We are very lucky to have you today in Mysuara FM Hot Talk, and then I'm also feel very, very uh, lucky to have, I mean, such a great guest today,
Thank you.
and it's such a great session. So anyway, guys, do check out the Facebook page and also the Instagram of the U.S. Embassy KL, and drop some comments. And there's a lot of programs. There's a lot of things going on. Do check it out. And some people maybe they ask about opportunities. I mean, not just to study, but all this exchange program. They are there. Do check it out. Anyway, this is me, Ridwan Rosli, signing off. We'll be back next week, Mysuara FM Hot Talk, every Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. And we'll end it with Lucas Graham, 7 years. Thank you very much for listening to us.